I know you got a lot to do these days, surely watching every minute of Johnny Depp battling it out against Amber Heard in court, or maybe you're planning ways to avoid the monkeypox jab. But a lot of things have happened in the world, as we all know. And besides Norway sending enough diapers to the city of Lviv to last for 10 years for all of Ukraine, and NATO considering offering Putin the salesmanship of the year, people much larger than us have been meeting this week, discussing our future, like George Soros here proclaiming the start of the Third World War at Davos, and while Zelensky of Ukraine have been meeting with Dutch giants. Up north, we have been cooking something unheard of. Because with Sweden and Finland handing in their NATO applications to Jens Stoltenberg, former Norwegian Prime Minister, now NATO leader, the North have never been stronger from a military perspective. Our own Prime Minister calls this a watershed to the people of the North. In Russia, of course, the response was swift, sending military equipment towards the Finnish border, which again caused a lot of Finns to drive their tractors towards their Russian border. And I'll tell you one thing, it's been a long time, close to 500 years actually, since all the Nordic countries and the Baltic states were on the same team in a war, coincidentally against Russia. And for anyone interested in invading the north here in Scandinavia, it would be wise to know just how far to the north we actually are. I mean, we're talking the north of Alaska, the northern parts of Canada and Russia. And let's turn the map around here, and you'll see in altitude, like this map shows, that we actually have a lot of mountains here. And we're good in the mountains, and we're good up north. We know how to survive up here. And to be fair, like most countries, we've cut down a lot on our military expenses, like here when they're hiring a... what kind of military boat is that? To take care of an American ship. And while Sweden and Finland are waiting to join NATO, a lot of other countries have guaranteed their safety. Even Boris Johnson popped by for a boat ride with the Swedish Premier, as you can see here. And here we can see the Swedish Prime Minister on the right signing an agreement with the UK. And I hope it's okay to joke about the Swedes, they kind of like it that we Norwegians make fun of them. But anyway, if you think these foreign ministers of the Nordic countries don't look too scary, what about these prime ministers? Well, I'll tell you, it's these defense ministers who are having wet dreams every night now, with new plans that's turning our heads upside down, with a lot of manpower and a lot of wealth to plan around with. And out of only 27 million people, well, we do have 1.1 million military personnel available. And in Scandinavia, such as Norway here, we got a lot of high-end military technology in many companies. And the Russians too now need to think carefully how they're going to plan for the future, as the Bastion defense is out of the question. Our current combined air force consists now of 250 top modern fighter jets, F-35 and Jags. And that's with today's current low military spending. As you can see here, if you combine them together, we'll place around a little bit above Israel, on about the 20th place. But that's not counting the expected rise in defense budgets. And just look at Germany there, by the way. And frankly, we live in a new world now where a lot of countries are spending a lot of money on arms. Even in NATO, they have their own very high readiness joint task force. Very strange name. And of course, as many of you know, fellow NATO member Turkey wants a say here, calling Sweden a home and a center for terrorists. But that will probably sort out, as you can see here, because the threats seem to be continuously coming out of Russia. And I don't know what Kadyrov, the Chechen leader, is doing here, threatening Poland in this way. It certainly doesn't help. And I, as many, am hoping for a better world, of course. Just like Kadyrov seemed to be doing here. I mean, maybe he should like the Swedish army. And yes, it's true, we like to fight each other. Like here recently when Norway almost beat Finland in ice hockey. But when faced with an outside threat, We Northerners always unite, like at the start of the Viking Age, against the Frankish Roman Emperor Charlemagne and the Franks, and against the Roman Empire when we were known as the Germanic tribes coming out of Scandinavia. And by the way, if we count metal bands per 100,000 people, oh yes, we were at the top there too. Well, all jokes aside, there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of propaganda, and as always, if we follow the money, we'll end up in strange places. Nevertheless, the North have never been this strong, and I wanted to make a video about this. And I'll leave you with this exit, so take care, and I hope you enjoyed this.